Hello, my name is Abraham Klein, and we are back once again with another lovely video about wonderful things that we like to talk about. By the way, I'm wearing some Jake and Abe merch if you are a fan of that show. I'm sure Brandon will put a link in the bio for you to check that out. Right, Brandon? You're going to do that? I mean, Mr. Z, you're going to do that, right? Right? Put it in the description, right? Okay. All right, anyway, moving on. Last time we were together and we were talking about 10 stupid phrases on the internet. Well, I began to think about it and I began to look at the internet more. And I realized, there are far more than the 12 that we dealt with. Obviously, we had top 10, but then we had 2 honorable mentions. Well, as I said, I began to see it and I realized there's far more than just those 10. So we're, again, going to do this wonderful thing. Here are 10 more stupid phrases on the internet. 2 more honorable mentions. So that actually makes like 24 stupid phrases altogether. So let's get started. Number 1. Then your childhood was awesome. Now this has always been a conflicting one for me because I see a lot of these phrases where somebody will show like a cartoon character or a show, or something else like a toy of some sort from back in the day. And I don't besmirch anybody that puts these up, but the idea that if you know who this guy is, if you watched this growing up, then your childhood was awesome. Now here's the thing, okay? Say you lived in a home where there was abuse, or if you lived in a home that was so staggeringly poor, you guys could barely keep food on the table, and many times you ended up starving to death, and all that kind of stuff. Well, despite the fact that there were TV shows to watch, your childhood was probably not awesome. Sure, you might have enjoyed those shows, but let's be honest, your childhood was not awesome. I'm sorry, it wasn't. Number 2, kids today will never understand. Now, a lot of times this is used to talk about certain conditions people lived with, say back in, I don't know, a long time ago, the 90s, or the 80s, or the 60s, or the 50s. Usually it's right around the 60s or 70s people like to talk about. And they'll be like, hey, if you look at this, government-issued cheese, or something like that, or whatever different things they like to show off. And like, kids today will never understand. The one that really gets me is when they like to show, again, like we talked about in the last one, a TV show or something like that. Kids today, they're never going to remember who this guy is, because it's not like we've got TV Land or Cozy or any of these other retro TV stations that show old programs. So therefore, you're too young and you'd never understand about this show, which is hilarious because when I grew up, I watched, several older shows. Why? Because they existed on TV. So there you go. And I understand not every kid is going to watch TV Land or Cozy or any of these other stations that show retro shows. But to completely count them all out as not being able to understand because, supposedly ever since they aired on TV 50 years ago, they don't exist anymore. It's a dumb idea. Anyway, number 3. The word adult used as a verb. And this is one that kind of shows up in memes. Usually it's women of a certain age. And this is not to, again, belittle or talk down to women of a certain age. By the way, the word belittle, never mind, I'm not going to go there. The word adult as a verb is what we're talking about. And again, as I said, usually, it's usually people my age. What am I trying to say? It's people my age. And they're usually like, I don't want to adult today. I'm done adulting for the day. And what really gets me about this is the fact that adulting is not a verb. I'm sorry. I got a little bit upset there, but I had to say it. Somebody had to say it, and I said it. So, adulting is not a verb. Adulting is another form of speech, also known as a verb. Sorry, But whatever it is, I definitely know it's not a verb. So let's just move on before I make myself any more stupid. So anyway, number 4, don't share, copy, and paste. Now, I don't understand what the reason is behind this, but I guess it's supposed to mean more, because, like, sharing is so easy. You just push the share button, and then it's going to pop up on your screen. It's like, you sure you want to share this? And then you push, yes, I definitely want to share this. And then, like, 5 minutes later, everybody's attacking you in the comments, and you're like, wow, I should definitely not have shared this. I should have listened to Facebook the first time when they asked me whether I really wanted to share this or not. And then your whole world falls apart because everything is just over with, and you should never share that stupid meme. You knew everybody was going to hate you for it. You knew everybody was going to come after you, and you did it anyway! But anyway, don't share, copy, and paste. Because apparently, I guess it takes more effort. And, you know, a lot of times, sometimes we'll even start like this. This is to see who reads the whole way through my post and who is paying attention. Because if you end up just sharing it, then you apparently didn't read the whole thing. You just wanted to try to be a nice person and just share it, when in all reality, you should have copied and pasted it. But you didn't. You're an idiot. You shared it. Or you just ignored it altogether. Or all you did was liked it. Or maybe you just commented but didn't copy and paste like I asked you to. To me, it's a lot like a power grab from people. It's the ultimate peer pressure, because they're like, all right, let's see if you'll actually follow my directions like a decent human being. And so, they tell you not to share, but copy and paste. And I've done this many times. Don't get me wrong. I've fallen into that same stupid category. And then people attack me in the comments. And then life is over. And I'm feeling sad. Moving on. Number 5. If you don't like this, then you might as well just unfriend me now. So, this is kind of like modern day, it's kind of like, what am I trying to say? It's kind of like bluffing people, because kind of like, get me, kind of like the old days of playing, when people drive a car at you and you don't blink, you don't move out of the way, and then they have to swerve out of the way because they're more of a coward than you are, apparently, and stuff like that. So that's basically the modern day version online. They're like, if you don't like what I like, then just unfriend me now. And it's funny because everybody's like, yeah, I'm so tough. I don't care if people unfriend me. I don't care if people unfriend me. I don't care. You can unfollow me. You can stop liking me at all. And then of course, people do unfollow them or unfriend them and like, wow, you really know who your real friends are. And they get all upset because apparently they weren't real. My real ones would have stayed around, but apparently, and then they get all whiny because people actually unfriended them, even though they were like, I don't care if people unfriend me. Go ahead, unfriend me, I don't care. Yeah, see if I care, go unfriend me. Just go unfriend me. But then it actually does bother them, and they have to do a long post about how fake people are, and all that stuff. And if you don't like what I'm saying about this, please don't unfriend me. Moving on. Number 6, what happens next will shock you. And this is usually like, usually you find these in a story, like a news post. And of course, it's obviously clickbait. It'd be like, hey, here's this person and they did something. What happens next will shock you. It'll rock you to your core. You'll question your humanity as a result of this. And although it's not usually something people say in like a caption of a post or in a meme, it is found on the internet, and it is found in in like news stories, and it's also my list, so I can do whatever I want. So, stupid phrase on the internet. All right, number 7. This represents all blank. All right, and this usually happens mostly in political posts, or sometimes they'll do it in sports, too, because they'll be like, hey, there's a Ravens fan. Look at this one example I found. in this picture that you can easily misinterpret. That represents all Ravens fans, or Steeler fans, or Cleveland fans, or whatever fans. But then they also like to do it where it's like, look at this picture of this one person from this political party being really mean and hateful. This represents all. And so, that's obviously stupid because it obviously does not represent all. It's just as bad as like people would if you study history at all, you'll find a lot of times where like racist people would show a story of like a black man or another minority person, and it'll show a horrible story of how they did something, and the media would spin it as this represents all from this, and it's just as bad today. Not to say that comparing a political party is the same as being racist. I'm not saying that, but it does come from the same flowing of mind of type of thinking, and so it's stupid. So because everybody's an individual, everybody's different. I know that's hard to believe in an age of stereotypes of every kind, but it's true. Everybody is an individual. Moving on. Number 8. Next time we'll learn colors and shapes, and this really upsets me because as many times as they've done these kind of posts where they're like, "You really think this about this issue? Wow, you're stupid. Next time we'll learn colors and shapes." And the worst thing is we never move on to learning colors and shapes. And I've been waiting to learn colors and shapes. I mean, I think this is an orange shirt, but I don't know. Nobody's ever moved on to teaching us colors and shapes. And so above all else, this is just a disappointing phrase because, again, they never fulfill their promise. And that's very upsetting, and in my view, very stupid. Number 9, yes. Send to 10 friends. Also, 7 years bad luck if you don't, or this photo is cursed. Now let's sort of break this down because it's a 3-part, all-encompassing one idea. Because we see here, send to 10 friends, including me. Because, we obviously love each other, and if you don't, then you don't love me, and then I'll have to unfriend you, and then you'll block me, and then it's just a whole messy thing. And so the peer pressure is great with this one. And so you need to send to 10 friends. 10 friends? Do I even have 10 friends? Of course I do. I'm on Facebook. But do I have generally 10 real friends? Of course I have. I'm on Facebook. And then there's the 7 years bad luck. If you don't send this, if you don't repost this, if you don't send this, then you're going to have 7 years of bad luck. And then there's the worst one of all, which is this photo is cursed. Share it, or this person in this picture will come into your room and kill you at night. And so because you gave into the pressure, because you were superstitious, or a little stitious if nothing else, because of that, you end up basically putting all of that possibility of pain and suffering on your friends? What? Okay, whatever. So you're trying to cover your own backside, but you don't care what happens to me. I get it. All right. I didn't even have this in the list, but then there's those ones that are like, it shows Jesus and the devil, like arm wrestling, and the devil's like, I'll bet they won't share. And then Jesus is like, oh yeah, my children will share because they love me. Well, and if they don't love me, and stuff. So, and you know what? Now that I think about it, then there's like, send to 10 people, and you'll get this big, lovely, you'll have tons of money come your way, or a blessing will come your way, or send to 10 people, and Jesus will answer your prayer, and all that other stuff. So the chain letters, basically, as they once were, and ended up being chain texts, and then eventually they were now just reposted. They're stupid. Just gonna throw that out there. Honorable mentions. First honorable mention. Only 90s, 80s, 70s, etc. babies will understand. Now, first of all, there's the insultation. Insultation? Is that even a word? Insultation. There's also the fact that they're calling us babies. 90s babies, as if we're still all a bunch of kids. And we understand, we're a bunch of kids and stuff like that. But like people from, and it usually goes back to about the 60s, because like 50s people, they're like so old. No, I'm not going to say that. That's not true. But usually it's like people from the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, because it's about the 60s when all the narcissists really started showing up in our in society, and to the extent that they are today, I should say. And so now, nobody understands anything except people from my generation, and we're the best generation over. And you really see this a lot from the Gen Xers, because like they think that they weren't spoiled, that they weren't entitled. But believe me, I remember history, and I also remember living in the 90s when all you Gen Xers were called spoiled and entitled. So keep that in mind the next time you want to put blame on somebody else. Moving on. Second honorable mention. I don't know who needs to hear this, but, and here's the truth. You know who needs to hear it, because you obviously were thinking of somebody when you made the post or when you shared the post. And so even though you say and vaguely like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you're obviously thinking of somebody. It's that one person that constantly bothers you in your newsfeed, who's constantly saying stuff that you disagree with, that just angers you every time you see anything of that person. It just head explosion, and yeah, and that's why that one's stupid, because obviously you know who needs to hear it, or you think needs to hear it, because we obviously do nothing but passively argue with one another on social media. That's kind of like what we do. We all passively argue with one another. We're like, some people, and we know who some people are, and then, we continue with this and all that kind of stuff. Number 10. This will be the last one. And this one's kind of gained steam lately. And it's not that these causes are not good. It's just the idea, again, of the peer pressure and the whole idea of challenge accepted. And this kind of went on with people with their body positivity thing, where they're like, challenge accepted. Here's a hot photo of me, and I'm a good, awesome woman, and I don't care what you think of me. I'm beautiful inside and out. And of course, then everybody follows suit. They give into the peer pressure. They're like, wow, this is a good opportunity for me to post a hot picture of myself and to tell everybody I think I'm beautiful and inside and out and all that kind of stuff. You shouldn't look at us as objects, but here's a hot picture of me. And so yeah, there's that. And then there's also the other challenges. Just because it's the latest one at the time of this recording, that's obviously where that one comes in. But really though, these kind of challenges always come up. They're like, challenge accepted. All right, I'm gonna post 10 pictures of flowers, different flowers every single day, and we're gonna do it with a certain filter every single day for the next 10 days. All right, here we are, and here we go. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of ridiculous. I mean, I understand there are some good challenges out there, and I'm not completely against them at all. Take for example, the challenge to be thankful about something every day. That's fine. But if it's just like, all right, I'm gonna take a picture of a tree every day for the next 45 days, and the challenge accepted. That's just dumb. It's dumb. It's just stupid, and that's the reason why it's on these stupid phrases on the internet. Well, this one's been longer than the last one. I understand that. I'm sorry for the length of the video, but of course, it happens sometimes when you're doing a list this big, this massive, this. Throw in another word there, Brandon, Mr. Z. But yeah, that's the video. We hope you liked that video. If you do, please smash that like button or smash that dislike button. Please don't. And then also be sure to share, like. We already liked, didn't you? Yeah. So like, share, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and hopefully we'll see you again next time. Also, go on to the link in the description that hopefully Brandon puts in there, and buy the merch, okay? So, yeah, this is it. We want to thank you for watching, and you have a great day.